Hello, hello. Deisi Del Toro with No Filter Show here once again. We finally get to do an episode in English, which it has been a while. I've been doing a lot of Spanish ones. I was actually about to start talking in Spanish. But it's awesome to do English episodes because I think it's important to do bilingual. We live in the USA, right?
Right.
Where all languages are fair. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I want to introduce you guys to Miss Marva Williams. And Marva Williams, right before we started, said that she's married in a different country. Talk to me about that. What does that mean?
So yes, my husband is abroad. He is from Nigeria, and he's from Akwa Ibom State, which is a small state. Sorry, take that back. It's the largest state in Nigeria on the coast, and but he's currently in Scotland right now. He's in school. So
nice. What is he studying?
He's studying to be a surgeon.
Yeah. Wow.
He always talked about it. He has education, but it's not in medicine at all. So I was kind of shocked. But he has an associate's in computer science, and then he has what's equivalent to our master's in engineering. But because he built bridges and he worked for the government in all construction and road construction.
Right.
And then he always talked about, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. And he went to school. And I was like, okay.
Well, I want to rewind all the way back to your childhood because you mentioned that he's from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
That means you have connections with Nigeria, or I want to know your childhood. Like, where are you from, or what happened? How did this all happen?
I am from Florida, originally born Fort Lauderdale, raised in Fort Pierce. My whole upbringing right there on the east coast of Fort Pierce, Florida, and my entire life I was here. I didn't leave until I was maybe 24, 25, and I started to travel, but it was mostly still within the U.S. So no connections really until I met him, which is weird. But yeah, I was, so Fort Pierce is my hometown, raised by my grandparents, my grandmother and my grandfather. My mom lived in Atlanta. She was a traveling nurse. So we was raised by our grandparents, and we would stay with her during the summer, and we would visit with her. But simple country girl, raised on a farm, did a lot of work, the stuff that we did.
If you were working in a farm, I know all about that. I actually, to this day, I was just having a conversation yesterday, and I was saying, I want to get a big piece of land right here so I can build my dream home, and all I want is a pony. Is that bad to say? Does that sound like a country girl?
No, because we didn't have like the animals per se, but we had the vegetables. My grandmother was a green thumb. She has an immaculate green thumb. And so we were with the vegetables and the growing and the fruits and the fruit trees and things of that nature. But no, it's a simple life. It's quiet, it's peaceful.
So you go from having your childhood living with your grandparents here in Florida. You're one of the only Floridians I know, just to be honest with you, because most people came to Florida.
My family, a lot of people, don't have this background, but my family, I am a 11th generation Floridian. So my ancestors were original settlers.
Wow.
Of Florida, but way back when it was still swamp. It was the Everglades. There was no individual kind of like it wasn't even built yet. My family, and on both sides, my mother and my father, were original settlers here.
So we have real Floridians here finally.
Because most people are tourists, right?
It's really hard to find. I think out of everyone I've interviewed so far, I haven't had a real Floridian that is from Florida, and not even like first generation, second generation. You're talking 11 generations. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So then you have your childhood here in Florida, and as you're growing up, what was your dream as a child, like around 5 to 10 years old?
Always to be a singer.
What?
Yeah.
So did you sing as a child?
All the time.
That's
all the time.
So cool.
It comes from my dad. My dad, well, he can't sing, but he could play any instrument. And it was random. Like my aunt was taking piano lessons, but he just sat down to the piano one day and started playing. And then he picked up the sticks and he could play the drums. And then he picked up the guitar and he could play. And it was just like, what?
So just pure talent.
Yes, and he's an artist as well. He can draw. So I got the singing. My brother got everything. So he can sing, he can draw, he can dance. He got everything from my dad. But I got the singing. But that's it.
So since you talked about the singing from early age, so you started singing. And what happened with this career? Where is it at now?
I never pushed, well, a little bit. I attempted to follow that dream. So being raised by my grandmother, she, the older folks, they're like, that's not practical. You need a job. So she really kind of didn't let us like focus on our craft. But it was something that like I was always very good at it. Like it was one of those things that there was no, how some people think I can sing and then they sing and it's like,
don't tell me twice about that. I've heard plenty of these people. They're like, oh, I am a singer. And then you listen to them and you're like, whoa, screeching.
Right. But no, I know that I had one of those gifts, like it was God-given, right? But I was never very shy, but I allowed other people to tell me what to do at an early age. So I didn't fight for it. I didn't push for it. It wasn't until I was maybe in my, I think 22, I auditioned for a couple of things. So I auditioned for American Idol. I auditioned for P. Diddy's Making the Band. I auditioned for like different things like that. And I was good, but like even P. Diddy Making the Band, I was, I'm a thicker girl and they have an image that they're looking for. And so I remember one of them, it was Leanne. She was always one of his judges. And I remember her saying, I'm going to remember your name. She said, your voice is different. I'm going to remember your name. And my name, Marva, which is not common either, too. So she was like, I'm going to remember you. But at the same time, as a matter of fact, when I auditioned, they weren't paying me any attention because they had already saw me. And so one of the guys, I can't remember his name, and he never looked up. After he saw me, he just started looking at his paper. He never looked up. And I got angry. And so I was like, I'm going to make you look at me. Right. And I started singing, and I remember his mouth dropping, and he was like, and he looked up at me. And so I had their attention, but still, this industry is about imagery as well too. So, but I remember
I would say was.
Correct.
Because I think a lot of that changed as time went on.
Correct.
Because they even made a recent movie that I really want to watch, or I think it's a show, but they call it the Avatar Singer.
Really?
And they have
the Masked Singer. Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The person is singing in the back, then you see the avatar, which is whatever they make.
Yeah.
In like a cartoon form.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, yeah. No.
And then they don't get to see the singer
until the end.
Until they choose the winner.
Yeah.
So it was really cool because some of these people were like, they created these characters like kind of like animes.
Yep.
And they look
nothing like
nothing. Yeah. They had blue hair, like all this cool stuff, and really huge eyes, and whatever curves everywhere. And then when you see them, the winner,
they look nothing like the avatar. Yeah. Yep.
See, but this is like the Frank Sinatra situation, right?
Right.
Where talent can get you. You just have to find the right people.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Anyway, I skipped a whole bunch of sections here.
No, it's cool. I'm glad you mentioned all of that because I wish I would have believed in myself more back then.
You could still do it. Man, I've heard of people at 60 years old making like a worldwide hit.
I'm 45.
Oh, so you still got time?
I got a kid.
Oh, let's talk about
tired.
Let's talk about the kid. Okay, so I saw on social media that you call yourself Queen.
Yes.
And what else?
So it's HRM, which is Her Royal Majesty. So yes, I am a queen. A lot of people don't know this.
But that's what I want to find out. Because culturally, a lot of times people don't understand the terms of the reasoning behind it. Like here in the USA, I feel like they use queen almost like a like a topic of conversation, like
friend,
Queen
sister, hey girl, yeah.
Like, oh, you're my king, babe. But it's in other parts of the world, that's not really the case. It's an actual title that you hold.
Correct.
So I want you to talk about that.
So when I met my husband, we met on social media. I'll start there. I was pushing a platform called 772 United, and it was a platform. It wasn't me. You couldn't see who was actually operating the page on Facebook. And he accidentally, and that platform was about music from my area. 772 is our area code. He was looking for a political group that was associated to the number 772. So he ended up in our group literally by accident. Because again, the only thing that was on the platform was the cover that said 772 United and the exact same thing on the profile picture. There was no person, there was no body, there was no nothing. He thought it was his political group because my husband was into politics at the time. And after a couple of weeks, I realized that his comments were just weird, just left. Like it had nothing to do with music. It was more about business. And like he would, try to include himself in some of the forums. And I think it's because he was trying to make sure he was in the right group. And I finally said, I think you're in the wrong group. But he was like, oh, he was taken back a little bit. And he was like, I'm sorry, I apologize. So he didn't say anything anymore after that. But he didn't leave the group. And I think by that time he started to catch on anyway because his comments were less and less.
Oh, I see.
He was like, what is this? But someone said something to me in one of the comments and they tagged my real name. And when you tag your real name, it becomes hyperlinked. And he could, so maybe he hovered. I responded as the platform, but I think he clicked on my profile and then he saw me and then he inboxed me. And I was like, oh no, this is fraud. This is fraudulent activity. I want no parts of this. Leave me alone. Because I already saw that he was from Nigeria. It was around the time, and I'm like, I think you're in the wrong group. I clicked on his page, and I saw he was in Nigeria, and I saw that he was doing politics, and I'm like, yeah, this is music. You're looking for politics. This is the wrong group. So I had already saw that. When he inboxed me, I was like, red flags everywhere. I don't want any parts of this. He was very handsome. I thought it was someone from the Middle East.
And I have seen pictures of him, so he is very handsome. But you're gorgeous, so it makes sense.
But at the same time, we've heard those stories about people being frauded.
Using people's
using
profiles.
other profiles.
That's right.
And it was just a red flag to me. So I was very mean.
But how did you meet him? Like how so you get this inbox message. And what did you do? Did you fly to Nigeria? Did he fly here?
He flew me.
Oh, he flew you.
He sent for me, but there was time in between that inbox into when he sent for me. It was maybe like a year. I was mean.
You were mean?
I was so mean.
I don't see it.
I was horrible.
What?
Because I thought it was fake. I thought it was fake.
Because I'm like,
with social media is entertainment to me. Outside of my professional pages where I'm promoting work or I'm promoting, what I do in the different industries, outside of that, it's total entertainment. So when you're coming at me in a social media platform and you're saying, hi, beautiful,
hey, sexy, what's
trash. What is this? Get out my face. Like, I don't want any parts of that.
And I just can't see it.
Oh, I was
because like I've known you for maybe close to 2 years.
Yes.
And you're so sweet. Super sweet. And on social media somehow you're like, hey, leave me alone. What are you doing?
I was so mean to the guy. Like, it was horrible. I was so mean that it took about 3 months for me to give in and actually like communicate with him. And that was by accident but he yelled at me. So he yelled at me.
Wait a minute. You can't yell on social media.
Well, he did.
How? Tell me a yell on social media.
It was, so you know how when you're typing etiquette, if you type in all caps, that's like you're yelling. So
so he yelled on caps.
It was always, good morning. Hope you have a beautiful day. for 3 months. And every day my response was just like, get out of here. Like, leave me alone. Like, you ain't found nobody else to fraud. Like, I got $87 in my account and you're not going to get it. Like, I was just.
So you thought he was after your money. You're like, whoa.
Because I was just, that's right.
Right? I see. No. To be fair, I get a whole bunch of messages on social media from all kinds of people from all over the world, and I too sometimes wonder, like, what do they want? Do they think that I'm gonna be like here for them? Or,
yep.
And they send you some.
And you hear those stories where these women and men,
and they fall for it.
They fall for it, and
they start asking, "Oh, can my sister's sick? Can you send me $50?
Leg got cut off." And I
so that's what you were thinking. You're like, oh, this is whatever. Okay, so time finally goes by.
And he yelled at me, and I
yelled in caps.
And but for some reason, it's like in my heart and in my stomach, I was like, I felt something. And I had to question myself. I feel like it was God. And I had to question myself, like, this man has been a gentleman for months, and you've just been rude. And when he yelled, he said, who made you like this? That was the question. And I said, excuse me? And he said, who made you like this? Why are you so angry? And that made me think, like, wow, he didn't deserve that. All this time, you're right. He does not deserve this. And so now the tables turned. I felt convicted, right? So I started talking to him.
Nicely.
But he was blowing me off. And I was like, okay, well, that went on about a week and a half. And right when I got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm done, whatever. It is what it is. He started responding. And so we talked a little bit. And then there's this group chat that my family, me and my siblings and our cousins, we would get on once a month. And it was on social media. And we would pick it up. I picked it up. And we were talking and laughing. We would be on there for about 20, 30 minutes or so. And then we hang up. My phone rang again, and I thought it was the family group chat again. And I picked it up, and I immediately put it the phone under my ear because I was cooking. And I said, "What do y'all want now?" And he said, I heard the voice say, "Hello," and it was an accent. And I was like, "Huh?" And I snatched the phone back, and I saw that it was him. And so now I'm thinking in my head, "Oh, so this is a real person. This is a real person." So now
I can't believe you guys weren't FaceTiming.
Well, because I wouldn't.
I see.
He kept saying, okay, answer a call, pick up a phone. You can see that I'm real. Because again, I'm still thinking.
Oh, that's true. I actually, a whole bunch of people also do the face thing.
Yeah.
And I don't answer. Yeah. You're right.
So I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you don't.
But because I answered that by accident, I could actually see this is the same person in the profile pic. So this is a real person. And I saw dimples. And I was like, oh, he cute.
So the dimples did it?
It did.
Wait, so then you fly there. You guys get to know each other in real life.
Well, we didn't. We got to know each other literally on social media. We dated for months.
Okay.
And we didn't even realize we were dating because at that time I wasn't looking for anybody. He wasn't looking for anybody. But we continued to communicate. I was, off in the entertainment world, working and doing my thing. And he was doing his thing on his side of the world. And one day I just asked, I was like, "Are we dating?" And he said, "I think we are."
Oh.
Yeah. And so then in my head, it was like, well, I got a boyfriend now.
Well, now I want to know how you got married. So you fly there, and then what happened?
He sent for me. He said, okay, you should come and see me. And I, again, red flag. Nope. Nah, this is cute. No, but now you're talking about coming to see you. I don't want to do that. And he was like, well, why not?
But if that's your boyfriend.
Yeah, but in my head, it's still in my head. I'm still thinking this ain't real. Like I'm going along for the ride, but this isn't real.
And so then, okay, so finally you come there.
He sent the money. He planned everything out. And the whole time I'm praying, I'm like, God, just give me a sign to show me, when I should stop. Like, just walk away. I'm following you. You show me the sign and I'm out. And it never happened. So the whole time, he's prepared everything. He helped me get the visa. He planned out the travel.
Oh, I hear your baby. See, it's fine. So we'll talk a little bit about the baby. So you brought your baby with you. Which you adopted. You just adopted your baby.
Yes.
And
in April.
Yes.
So
which like I want to talk a little bit about that, and we'll go back to the story of we'll come back to the story of how you got married. But I want to talk more about you. So I met you because you work at Full Sail.
Yes.
And you call all the students at Full Sail that you help your babies, right? Yes. So this is before you get this real baby.
Yes.
Because you don't have babies of your own yet.
No.
You have just the adopted baby, but before the adopted baby, you have thousands of babies.
Full Sail babies.
Full Sail. And you really do look at them as a family member, because since I met you, you're like, oh, you know, I want the best for them. I want them to graduate from Full Sail. I want them to have amazing careers. I want them to succeed. You were talking to me about the Hall of Fame and how involved you are with that. So when I met you, you didn't have a baby.
No.
And I didn't know what type of queen you were.
Correct.
Or anything else. As we've gotten to know each other further outside of all of this, is when I found out. Because you've even been to my home now lately.
Yes. Yes.
So I want you to tell me what it's like for your career. So you left the music stuff.
Yes.
And you chose this, I don't want to call it like a settled career, but it's more like a stable. Should I call it just stable?
A little more
quieter. But your passion is still there.
Yes.
Because you're still working in the entertainment industry, and you're still encouraging people to follow their dreams and do their thing. So talk to me about the experience that you've had just doing this entertainment industry type of job that you love passionately. Talk to me.
It kind of started while I was at Full Sail as a student. When I got to Full Sail, I was older than everyone else because I went to Full Sail later in life. And so the whole name Mama Marva started then as a student. Just because most of them were fresh out of high school, and I could see like the timidness and they were scared and still trying to decide if they'd made the right decision, because, Full Sail isn't a practical school, and a lot of parents, they're kind of on the fence about if they really want to support their child.
Right.
But at the same time, it's entertainment, right? So, or predominantly entertainment, I'll say that.
Right.
So they're questioning if they made the right decision. And so I kind of would see that in them. And I ended up becoming the person that I wish I had at their age, and would just tell them, just go. Like, I was 35 when I got to Full Sail as a student, and I should have never waited that long to follow my dreams. I should have never allowed someone else to tell me what I should do. I should have followed my heart from the beginning. And so I became that person on campus as a student, and I began I started doing a lot of volunteering on campus, and I started meeting a lot of different faculty and picking their brains. And two people in particular, Cammie Smith and Jackie Gardner, they were just huge for me while I was on campus. And they were pivotal in some of the decision making that I made. And so in volunteering with them and communicating and getting to know them and allowing them to just teach me some of their background and just maneuver through the industry, I started going out and finding events that were near and dear to me, concerts, different events, different productions, and introducing them to Full Sail that Full Sail really didn't know about. So I started doing a lot of that, and I had taken a class called professional writing, and I would write proposals and I would send them out, and I would ask, could Full Sail students volunteer? If we can't volunteer, can we shadow? And in return, we're doing this for free. We would give you free BTS of all of your events. Who's going to say no to that?
Right.
And it got to the point where I was taking 30 and 40 students to volunteer at some of these events. And so it just kind of developed, like the whole look of that kind of developed at that time. I started volunteering with WWE while we were on campus, and I eventually worked my way up because my degree was music production. But I just volunteering ended up in television and film.
Oh, that's right. Because when I went to do a tour there, you told me you ended up doing a lot of different television things. Is your baby coming?
He's coming. I saw him hop down.
I figured eventually he's going to climb up here and just be like, hey, hang out with me. Look at him. I see him.
Okay, good.
Oh, good. He's going to go to Jose now.
Good.
Yeah, we have people behind the camera, so it's good. So you went into television. What did you do? What involvement did you have? And I hope we have footage so we can show that on here too.
There's some things out there. I ended up working with WWE, and I.
There he is. Look how happy he is.
Are you gonna sit?
He's so
Are you gonna sit? Are you gonna sit? You want to sit?
Okay, he said no. So sweet.
He said no.
See, this is what happens. Most people don't understand when you become a parent.
Don't touch.
You have babies and babysitters who don't show up, and you got to do what you got to do.
Look.
Say hi.
Go see him.
So how does Yeah, because I want to show some of that. I want to show some of the work and career choices that you've made.
Yes.
When you did the television things, you did it at Full Sail, or you traveled somewhere else to do it?
It started at Full Sail.
Okay,
so I did a lot of different. There were several productions that I did while as a student on campus, and then I introduced Full Sail to some other productions that they didn't really know about. Just me being into entertainment and into music and into these different avenues. I brought some things. So one of the things, like I said, I started volunteering with WWE, but before that. At one point, they said, you can't really volunteer because they want you to focus on your classes. But I was older, and I'm like, well, I'm done with my homework. I wasn't waiting till the last minute to do my stuff. So I'm like, I need something else to do. And so when Revolt came around, it was 2014. They were introducing the network, and they were doing their very first music conference in Miami. And Cammie Smith, she was a career development advisor at the time. I told her about it, and she was like, I think we have someone that works for Sean Combs Enterprises, because the Revolt at the time, that was Diddy's platform.
Oh.
And a gentleman, a grad, Dave Shirley, he was working for Sean Combs Enterprises, and she connected me with him. So we began to communicate, and I said, I want to bring some Full Sail volunteers. And so working with him, between him, Cammie, and the other Revolt team, we took 40 students down there on their very first production. It was a full week in Miami.
Wow.
And that was huge. It was huge. And it became, I still have some colleagues and friends that still work for the company now from that event.
So they went there as a volunteer.
We went there as volunteers.
And then they got hired on.
So some of them got hired on. It was so good. It was such a great impression that I remember them saying, because at the time it wasn't just Full Sail, right? There were other colleges there, but you kept hearing people say the Full Sail students are on it. But what they didn't realize was, and it's not a knock at the other universities, they're going to traditional college, right? And so this is fun and exciting for them. But we're going to school for this industry. So if you tell this volunteer, go and get that cable in the back of that truck and bring it back, they may deviate a little bit, go take some selfies and then come back. Versus a Full Sail student, we've been geared, they pounded into us, right? So we're going to go get that cable and come right back, and we're waiting for our next task because this is our industry.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there just so I can give compliments, because I completely agree with you on this. Because by now in production, I've worked with a lot of different people. And ultimately, what did I do? I went Full Sail, didn't I?
Yep.
And I went Full Sail, full course. I still come back. Yes. And anytime I need someone, I hire from Full Sail.
Yes.
And that's why.
Yes.
I did notice the difference. Personally, I've noticed the difference.
Yeah.
And it is important.
Yeah.
That if you ask someone, handle this task, it doesn't mean that you're reducing their title or reducing what they can accomplish. It just means in the moment, you need someone with responsibility to just handle, even if it's a small task.
Correct.
Because in a production, you need people who can do everything, especially small tasks. Because sometimes it's not just, the whole production, but even one little cable or one battery can delay the whole project.
It's important.
Right?
It's important.
So even if they just have to go grab a AAA battery, it's like, hey, please go grab it.
You saved the show.
Thank you.
You saved the show. UPA, which is, the bottom of the totem pole. You saved the show. And me, my title was predominantly production coordinator, right? But I was cleaning tables. I was picking up trash. I was restocking coolers. Thank you. I was restocking coolers. I was taking snacks and food to some of the production team that couldn't move because we're filming live and they can't leave, right? So you're right. Whatever is needed and asked of, we were doing that. We were facilitating that, and they were paying attention.
Well, that's what I have personally loved about it. I feel like everyone who has come out from Full Sail to work with me, even in 1 day contracts, because sometimes we're not hiring people
Correct.
full time, but even if it's just 1 day,
freelance,
simple stuff, freelancing, like just please handle these tasks, even if they're below. Some people have master's degrees and they end up having to do flyers. I bring this up all the time, but it's important to know that even me, I mean, I'm a director and a producer, and a lot of times you'll see me wiping the floors, you'll see me wiping tables, just like you said, as a coordinator, as a director, as a assistant director, you end up having to do very simple things, and it's all important. Everything is important.
It is.
And then now let's talk back about the dream, the singing stuff. I feel like we need to beat this horse a little bit more because I want to show some of your singing stuff. Please tell me you have some of it.
So a lot of the singing stuff is probably audio. If you want to take your shoes off so it doesn't sound like a horse running in the back, you can.
It's okay.
A lot of the singing stuff that I have is mostly audio, is what I have. But as far as like being on stage or anything, I don't have any more of that stuff. I took a lot of that stuff down, and then I lost a lot of it because at one point I was working with Victor Oladipo. I was his executive assistant for his platform, and we were in Miami. Someone broke in the car, took my Mac, and that bag had everything in it. It had my Mac, it had my iPad, my drives. So yeah, I lost a lot of stuff, and I mean a lot of stuff. I was editing people's projects, and I lost it all.
So okay, but back to that. So in your dream category, do you ever feel like you'll go back to that dream, or have you completely given up on that?
As of recently, I actually said to a couple of colleagues of mine, I would like to start singing again, but not professionally, right? Just on a jam session.
Why don't you help me make a song? I have this, it's called a burlesque. Okay. I don't know if you know.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So yeah. So I want to do this burlesque thing, and I ordered an outfit. I feel like you should help me with that.
Yeah.
Because I want to make a song, but I'm not a lead singer by any means or anything, but I do want to sing in it.
Okay.
But maybe if we do it together, it turns out really cool. I'm going to be performing it in Orlando September 27th. So we have time to prepare, to do it. Like, I really want to do this thing. I think it'll be fun. It'll be my first time.
I love Broadway.
I love
Broadway.
Yeah, cool, right?
Oh my God.
See, look at that. Now you're excited. I think that would be cool. We should do it together, because that way you get back into your singing stuff.
Yes.
And I'll have the confidence of, okay, I've never done it, but I know that someone knows what they're doing. And then I'll do it.
Yes.
Because I want my whole performance to be original, 100%.
Nice.
And I feel like that's the only way it can be 100% original. It does.
That matters.
It does. I mean, if I'm going to create my little 4-minute performance, I want it to be as flawless as possible.
Yeah.
And this is a dream of mine, dancing. I've always been a dancer. So since I was very young, I was a dancer. So for me,
learning stuff about you
me
too.
coming. That's right, because I'm 40 now, and I was like, oh, I get to dance again. I haven't danced in probably 20 years.
Wow.
So for me, it's kind of like getting back into that thing. Just so the way I'm encouraging you, like, hey, you like to sing, like help me.
That's kind of how I am with the singing. I actually have, Full Sail is, the faculty is full of talent. And there's quite a few individuals that have played professionally behind some of the biggest names in the industry for decades. And so I've been talking with a lot of them. They're in that same space as me. Like, this is more quieter. We got insurance. So
we got insurance.
We're doing this. We got kids. We're just a little more slow down. But we still want to be creative. We still want to perform. So I started reaching out to some of those colleagues and saying, let's do a jam session. And so I am currently putting together a jam session, and I'll invite you. You can come. It's going to be once a month, just so we can get in and get the music out and get it out of our bones.
I want to invite Jose also, because I want him to help create this song. I think it'll be special just because as you know, I did production with music, and I feel like I gave my all to everybody else.
You did.
But I didn't really give a chance to anything I wanted to really do for myself. And this time, it's the Monsters in the Morning radio show giving me an opportunity to do something different and fun. So I thought, hey, I'm going to put effort and make it the best I can. So that would be cool.
Yeah.
And then since you're such a great helper and everybody else is your baby, maybe I can be your baby.
Yes. I love it.
I'm so bad. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I love it.
But that would
I'm
be
excited.
Good. Yeah, me too. I really want to get creative and do something different, like outside the box. I've never.
Yeah.
Other questions. Okay, so now you talked about Nigeria. We talked about your husband. We talked about all that. Okay, is it true that in Nigeria, sexually, everybody's more open than here? Like, I heard in Nigeria, and this is what I heard. This is not like facts.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking you, since you've been over there. Is it true that over there it's allowed to have up to 12 to 15 wives?
Where's my camera? This one.
This one's your camera.
So they are allowed, depending on the level or status quo that you are in. Sam, I will shoot your ankles off of your feet if you ever.
If I find out you have 12 wives, no.
It's a choice, right? It has to be agreed upon.
That's right.
So there has to be understanding in place. There are some individuals, kings, and even just regular civilians, common folk, who will have multiple wives or husbands, but it has to be agreed upon. Sam and I'm not Nigerian. I'm American.
You're American, so for you, I'm me. I'm your queen.
I'm spoiled. I am.
This is it.
Hey.
Yeah. She's making the face at the camera. Do you see this face? This is the mean face.
You want to keep me happy. But no, he's a sweetheart, and he's not. It's not his thing either. He's not interested in having other wives because it also requires energy, right? It requires a lot of patience. Wait, don't run away. Don't run away. Don't run away. Hey, go.
Hey, this is what happens when you have only one wife. Imagine 12 wives and you got like kids everywhere.
I don't know how they do it. So one of the kings that I've met, and he had multiple wives, but he has multiple wives, and I think he had 8 wives.
Oh wow!
And he's very funny, very. He's one of my friends that I consider a friend over there, and he was the king that coordinated Sam and I from Prince and Princess to King and Queen. But at this time he had just gotten married, and at that time his wife, she was very young.
Yes. The 8th one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The 8th one was very young.
Number 8 was very young. And he has many children. And so that was some of my questions, was like, how do you deal? Like, how do you manage? Because I see where for some women it could be liberating for them, right? Because it's like less stress. Like, I don't feel like doing this,
that's
do
right.
that. So
like, hey, I'll have Monday night.
Yeah, go have one of the other wives do it. Like,
like, hey, I'm busy. Or actually, during pregnancy, a lot of women don't want to be bothered for like those 8-9 months.
Yes.
Right? Or right after having a baby, there's
Correct.
like a period of another 3 to 4 months.
And they are very, very big on that.
Oh, they are.
Yes, they are very big on that. Like,
so during that time as a man, they're just like, hey, go to your second or third wife, or
so to keep it safe, to keep it cordial, they would bring in a concubine or another wife. And so they would have multiple wives.
That's why I wanted to talk about that, because I think in the USA, including Mexico, like I only talk from my own personal experience. In Mexico, man, for somebody to come and say to you, hey, I have a lover because you can't have sex with me for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Right.
There's going to be some murders, and it's not going to be well. Okay, I said that in a joking way. You may have to delete it. But nobody likes it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, they don't like it.
No.
I don't like it.
Me either.
I don't like to share at all. I'm very selfish. Like, I don't like to share. I'm actually like, I'm the selfish one. I'm the one that's like, hey, I want to do whatever I want, but I don't want nobody else doing what.
We're very nurturing, right?
Yeah.
We care about the things that we care about.
If we're together, like, talk to me, right? So you marry someone from where it's acceptable to have multiple wives, but you are his only wife.
Yes.
you are now called Queen.
Yes.
You have your wedding there or here?
We had our both ceremonies there.
Okay, both ceremonies. But in here, you have not changed your last name to Peters.
No, not yet.
Why is that?
Well, we haven't got married here too. We were going to in 2021, but he was heavily with the political campaign. He was running for a political position, and so it kind of got like, I don't want to say it was overshadowed, but in a little bit it was. But that is very important to them. Like they kind of how, and I hate to go this route, but you know how here with politics, we pay attention, but we really don't. It's the complete opposite over there. Like they're hands-on, all in, everyone when it comes to who's going to run their country. And he was running for a very big position. So I had to understand and just receive that this is important to them because I'm still learning the culture myself. So I had to receive that this is important to them. Just give it time. And just because of the way things ran, I gave it that time. And then I became active again in the industry. And then I started working at Full Sail, and it just kept getting put off and put off. And he made the decision, like, I'm going to school. So it just hasn't happened.
But I think it's such a cool story, especially because after I got to know you more, it's different.
Right.
It's a different story altogether. It's completely out of the box, you could say, right?
Yeah.
And how do you enjoy that? Now you guys FaceTime, I'm hoping?
Yeah, we FaceTime. Oh, that's the only thing we do is FaceTime.
Okay,
and I go over, I will stay, periods at a time, 2 months, 3 months.
And we were discussing how we're similar in the sense that you have big properties in
Nigeria.
in that country, in Nigeria, and I have properties in Mexico. We were discussing how like a lot of it is just a lot of land. And how things are different than here. Here is like smaller spaces. Look at you breathing hard. You're like,
it's so different.
And how did he take you becoming a mom? Adopting?
Oh, he was
he's happy.
He was excited. He just couldn't wait. When I first told him, he was like, "What, baby? This is real." Oh, sorry, I have to imitate him properly. whenever you're like, he's like, baby. Oh, I love this boy. Oh, I love this boy. I had to make it. I always say, Sam, calm down, relax, just calm down, because it was an emergency adoption, and the mom is still active. Like this was not something that I planned. It was an emergency situation, and because Aku knows,
he's amazing, and I hear him. He's so energetic,
right? And he knows his mom. So I wasn't trying to be the type to where this is our baby and we're gonna move forward and that's that. No, we stay in contact with the mom, and I update her with photos and pictures and videos, and we call and FaceTime, and he knows this. Sam knows this. So like I had to like pump your brakes. Yes, this is our son, but he knows his mom, and so I don't want to ever stand in the way of this is a situation that was forced upon her. She fell in this situation, and it was unfortunate. But I'm just following my heart. And I've had some people say, no, you don't have to do that. My heart says otherwise. My heart says.
So before we close off, I don't want to leave this wide open because I still want to know more, at least about your career.
Okay.
What are your plans for the future? Are you happy where you're at right now? Where are you going?
I have my hands in so many things right now. It's crazy. I do artist management. I'm working with a young lady by the name of Marcy White. She is not just the young lady that I'm managing. She is also a friend, because at the time, my decision to go to Full Sail, I was in the studio recording and singing with her. So we were together and we were doing this thing together, but I just felt like we weren't progressing as quickly as I wanted to. So that was the decision to go to Full Sail. And so I kind of became her manager by default. So X amount of years later, she's now, she's doing some acting. She's a rapper. She's great. She's phenomenal. X-rated stuff. So prepare yourself. But she's very lyrical. We've worked with some very big names out there in the industry. We've toured and everything. But she's currently acting. So she's been doing some things with P Valley. She's been on BMF, which is 50 Cent's production.
Oh, okay.
She's a regular on P Valley now, and they actually have a spinoff now on Stars, and so she may be transitioning over there to that one too.
Is this a lady that I met before?
Marcy.
I think I met her at an event at Full Sail.
No. Marcy, she's in Atlanta. But
Okay,
you've talked to her on the phone. You've spoken with her on the phone, and we planned to get together, but just because of scheduling,
so busy.
It never came together. But
that's right.
She's the main person I've always worked with, just because she's where I started, and we've just done so much. So now the acting thing is the next phase that we're in right now, and it's working very well. Like quicker than we ever imagined.
Know, they're having a contest on the radio station that I go to, 104.1.
Okay.
And it's a singing contest. And they want to have people come out, if they're picked, to be singing on the radio.
Okay.
And then if they get picked, they get to record one song at the professional studios, and then they will play it nationwide on iHeart.
I should do it.
You should. You should do it. What am I saying? You should do it. What are you doing? Because most people think that the radio is not that important anymore, but people all still listen to radio.
Yep. I was listening to it on the way
here. And this is nationwide. Yeah. It's a great opportunity. I mean, I've passed on. I'm like, everybody that I know that can sing, I'm like, hey, do it. Why? Because it's a great opportunity. It is. Especially for you. Like, come on, girl. You're a queen, you're a mom, you're married, you got your career, like you got what? Come on.
I talk about it all the time. I always say I want to go back and do it. But
and it's until August the 9th. Like, it's so simple. Just sign up, do it. You deserve a chance to do what you do and what you love to do, because if that's your passion since childhood, then that means that's your main passion.
Yeah. That's my baby. Like, I always say that's my baby.
I do my passions real good. I like, this is one of them. Like, I've always loved doing this. I love radio. I pretty much do a little bit of everything, but it's all part of fulfilling my passions, right?
Yeah.
And you got to fulfill yours.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still on the fence with that one, just because I love singing. I absolutely adore singing, but I now equally just love operating in the entertainment industry. So I even the jam session that we're getting ready to start, that's good. That's cool for me.
I'm watching this movie called it's not a movie, it's a series. It's Cobra Kai. Have you seen it?
No.
Cobra Kai is about this guy who was like amazing at karate when he was young, right? Okay. But then he gets second place in like a major thing, and he breaks his heart.
Okay.
But then later he becomes like the Cobra Kai king, you could say.
Yeah.
And he opens his own karate, and he does all these different things. I'm watching it, and it makes me think of you. Like, maybe now you're like, oh, well, I don't think I can be the main karate, but I can still be the karate king. Like, you're gonna open your own studio and just start doing.
See, and I do that. I do that.
I can see that.
Like, I don't mind living through someone else. Like, which me operating as an industry outreach representative for Full Sail, it feels good because even though it's not me, I'm living through them, watching them get the job, get the placement,
I see that.
get the opportunity. And it's like, oh,
I see that. I see that from you because I see how you are.
Yeah.
At the same time, I want you to leave a few last words for people, anything about you that you want to tell them so that they can have a really cool thought of you as we finish this off. Let's go. I want to know. Come on, Marva.
Let me think. Something cool.
Come on, what do you want to say to people?
I will say, definitely do not hesitate to follow your dreams. The biggest, if I could ever, I love my life. I love the things that I've experienced, good and bad. But I will say, if you feel it in your heart and you feel it in your gut, that thing telling you to do good, just not bad stuff, then do it. You know, take that jump. Take the initiative to indulge in yourself, because most of the time we spend a lot of times indulging other people's words, listening to other people, and allowing other people to dictate what we should and should not do. Don't do that. Follow your heart, because the one thing that I regret is not going to Full Sail sooner than I did.
Because you were 35.
I was
when
35.
You did it. So that means
changed.
Get it going, people. Let's go. I feel like that's why I do this, because I want people to see that there's different people in different stages of life still making their dreams come true. Like this little tiny baby. No, baby. Come. Anyway, we're closing it off as the baby flies into the set. Come here, you little baby.
Yeah. Hey.
Hasta la vista, babies. Thank you so much for being here, Marva. I love it. And you're a beautiful baby. Congratulations on all you have going on. And we're going to make a song together.
We are.
Okay, let's do it.
We are.
All right, guys. Until next time.